All right, hello and welcome everyone to Testing Grounds, new show here on GDQ Hotfix where we showcase new games and the people around it. So today I am welcome with some folks that might have been here on Monday, actually, the Shovel Knight community. How is everyone doing today?
Looking pretty good.
Fine, just fine.
All right, before we get started here, just a couple quick announcements. So we have the first step coming up tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, where Jay Hobbs and Keyzeron will be playing Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. We also have Frame Fatales starting up on February 23rd and going to February 29th. That is right, Leap Day this year, 2020. And with that said, I will hand the floor over to Spleen, who's going to be doing some Shovel Knight King Knight today.
Yes, I am. I don't know what to say. I've never had the floor before. So, I think we should just get started, should we?
Let's kind of set this up real quick. First of all, Spleen, you're the world record holder. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Not for long if Bread's got anything to say about it.
Brett, do you have anything to say about it?
I don't know. We'll see.
So yeah, on voice we have Spleen, who has the record right now. Breadpan, who has second place and has actually been trading it back and forth a lot right now. And we're going to be talking about a little bit of the run in general and how it's been shaping up. But yeah, Spleen is going to be showing off the turncoat route of any percent. And we'll explain the categories, definition, and rules and stuff. With that said, we're going to go ahead and get started then. Count us down.
Alrighty, so on go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So King Knight is, this is part of Shovel Knight's campaign, Treasure Trove. He handles similar to Shovel Knight, but you can see that King is going to be bashing and rolling around. If you've played the game recently, I hope you had a lot of fun. This may look a little bit faster because this is we're going to be basically jackhammering bash and roll throughout the majority of every level. So it can be a little difficult to control King, but once you get used to it, it can be very satisfying. This first level is actually super duper technical.
That Beto dash right there is like a little tricky, but other than that, the majority of the level is just like doing movement and fastest possible moment.
Something to note about the way King attacks, you can see him bashing and then tucking into a roll. Whenever King Knight bashes or rolls, he'll deal 1 damage. If he happens to kill an enemy with a roll, then he'll actually roll straight through it. So you're going to see at every possible moment, Spleen's going to try to roll through obstacles and hazards or avoid it altogether. Because anytime you bash into something without the roll, you get a spin, which is great for getting some height, but it's pretty slow otherwise as an animation.
Yes, we want to be spinning pretty much as little as possible.
I see someone asking about
in the slimes.
I see someone asking about King Knight's cape. This is because Spleen's using a color code. So this is in the Shovel Knight community, we allow runners to use cheat codes that are only cosmetic. The developers actually also recognized cosmetic cheat codes, and they don't disable your feats. So in this case, Spleen is using the cheat code that makes King's color palette swap just ever so slightly. Nice green cape. And that is so that Spleen can add a little bit more character and personality to his runs.
Well, green is the color that humans see best, so I want everyone to see me going at lightning speed.
So Breadpan, we've already cleared a couple levels here. Why don't we talk about things that we are collecting throughout the run?
All right, so you'll see in the top right corner, top left corner, there's a little icon. Looks like you got some metal. The medals are used for an item that we were going to get that saves a lot of time with both attack and the route that it uses. But each of them spend maybe more than a second or two on each one. So there'll be 2 in this following stage, and then in the next stage afterwards, there'll be one that just takes 0 time and one that takes about maybe less than a second to get. So overall, it's like trying to lose as little time as possible. But right now we need 6 medals, and that will be getting later.
And we'll only need 6 medals because we only get 1 item in this route.
Yes.
The merit medals not only unlock items, but they also unlock specific stages that you acquire those items in. So we wouldn't be able to do this route unless if we got these medals in the first place. The other thing that is important for King Knight is gotta get a specific amount of money. So Spleen's actually trying to make sure he picks up money along the way, but there is some money that we'll be going out of the way for. It's kind of tight money-wise, but there is backup money if you are concerned about being shy during runs. So now we have everyone's favorite first boss.
Mm-hmm. He's completely RNG. Please save us from this evil person. Somebody please find a setup so I don't have to make it up on the fly.
He's very good at playing on Battlefield, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's very strange. He's the only real major boss that has RNG like that, but it's just a matter of, like, seeing which pattern he's doing and then trying to, like, get him into the corner and doing a bunch of bashes as much as possible.
Yeah, this Spectre Knight fight behaves like a player where he has iframes, so it's unfortunately not the easiest thing to come up with a consistent fight for him. But he did give us an Uno deck. Are you ready for some card games? A lot of people have been wondering how much of the card game is actually going to be in this route. We're about to show off how much King of Cards is in card game. All right, GG, well played.
That was close.
Yeah, it's always really tricky. So that was card skip. We do that by just leaving immediately.
Yes, I had, but you need to fight off your crippling addiction to card games. You know, it's more of an internal battle than an external one.
Oh, right.
Castle was the recovery.
So Spleen just did a save and quit. Lukey, one of the runners in the community, found out that it's actually faster to save and quit because the game automatically saves. So, oh no!
That's what happens when you roll into something that cannot be destroyed in one hit. You get a little ball, and it's usually like, it always results in, like, you know, not progressing forward and going down quite fast. So generally,
it's one of the most difficult parts of King Knight's run. His platform is some of the most punishing out of all the 4 characters because you have to know how far your bash is going to carry you, and you have to choose between using your bash or rolling for speed. So now getting the secret exit here. Ooh, I love that movement here. Nice.
Well, I got to make up for the death some way.
The mount route for most of the because you can actually skip different levels, different mini levels by going through different parts of another level. So you'll see with the red paths on the map screen, that means that we've skipped a certain part of a level, or in this case, we skipped a whole level. In addition to being able to do a much an item, so lots of good stuff all around with this World 1.
So now Spleen's using the turncoat. In this specific level, you can't bash. So Spleen's actually using the turncoat's roll ability to make up for that a little bit. Turncoat, whenever you take damage while using the item, instead of receiving damage, you start building up a charge. And when you let it go, it'll deal damage based on how many attacks you've eaten. So at 3 attacks, it does a fully charged flame attack. Deals a heart and a half. It's gigantic. It's super powerful. It's very good for fighting bosses. And that level also gives you a bunch of money in the process of doing it. A lot of the gold armors die. And we'll be needing money after we go through this first boss because we're purchasing armor. And we don't have the ability to purchase armor right now until we beat the first boss. But once we do beat the first boss, we'll be purchasing basically the only other thing we'll need for this route.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we'll be purchasing armor from the very boss we defeat. But he'll get the last laugh because he starts dating our mother.
Oh, nice try. So, Spleen just tried to use the turncoat as he hit the dirt block. If you use the turncoat on the same frame that you bounce off a dirt block, you actually cancel the animation. So thank you, Tolu, for finding a time save you can do anywhere that's frame perfect. It's super fun.
Well, luckily it's only in this level. There's better things to do in all the other ones.
Coming up, we've got the first boss. It'll be King Pridemore, which is a nice little part of the game. But
I'm excited to see this boss. You said you changed it up a little bit, right?
I'm afraid I need to change it back because
okay.
he has 3 different patterns, and I only know how to do 2 of them with the other strat. And apparently I don't know how to do them at all because I seem to be messing up quite a bit.
Yeah, he's got gigantic shoulders that make it impossible.
The box is like super small.
Mm-hmm.
But once he's down to 8, he'll just go to either corner, and then you can try to wail on him and hope that you don't lose him before he flies away. The turncoat's pretty useful here because when the eagles drop the fire, you can just charge it up super quick and get him.
It looks like you're shy by just a little bit of gold.
Yeah.
That's okay, though. There's some extra gold on the ship. So yeah, this is a good example of what you're trying to do is you're trying to have 6,100 gold when you beat this boss so that you can just go... essentially, whenever you get one of the heirlooms, so we got the turncoat in this case, it comes with an NPC. And in this case, it would be Traitorous, that purple fellow over there. And he'll give you 400 gold, which is really nice, but it's not enough money. So Spleen's also going to pick up a little gold that's lying around on the ship. Without running into the hedge dude over there. Oh, land! Yes! Yes! You should have wiggled around.
Well, you know, you got to get in the boat. You know, it's a donation incentive, eh?
Ah, man, I should have brought that up.
So, this is the first part when you're actually able to buy coats. Before, you only have to wait to actually get coat upgrades. But now we have the charge coat armor. I forget exactly how it's pronounced.
The Battery Brigandine.
Yeah, but basically it allows you to charge up a big old bash, kind of like Plague, a little bit. But basically we're going to be using this a lot to get over gaps that you might not be able to do with a regular bash.
Oh,
So
here we go.
This one,
Woo!
and this is the first instant of moon jump, which is a little weird thing in the game where if you bash up with this armor and you do a turncoat right before the bash ends, you get a good amount of extra height. This can be used in a lot of places in order to get just that extra in order to save some time. So we'll be seeing it a good bit.
That was found by Carter Freak, who is a good friend of mine. I met through the Mega Man 11 community, and then got him to play Shovel Knight, and he jumped in on King Knight and found a lot of really weird shenanigans with Battery Brigandine plus Turncoat.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we won't be able to show them all off because what was it? The boat skip. He took 3 hours and did it 3 times.
It's not super friendly. It would save a very small amount of time. So when it comes to what you decide to do in this run, by the way, if you're not comfortable with doing something, Spleen is not comfortable with doing that, and I wouldn't force that on anyone.
Neither would I. Not my worst enemy.
So you can see you get a lot of crazy, weird movement and height. Yo, what's up, Carter? Some are maybe a little harder than others, yeah. By the way, this is one of the Iron Whale stages, because the way King Knight's levels in general work is that they're much, much shorter. They're more akin to Super Mario World or Donkey Kong Country. And then we get a boss at the end of every world. So we get a little bit of everything in King Knight's campaign. We saw a little bit of the plains, a little bit of Pridemore Keep, but we skipped out on the Lich Yard in the first world. In the second world, we get Iron Whale, and then we go to Exploratorium levels. So we have Pressure Plant, one of everyone's favorite levels.
Mm-hmm. Now, unfortunately, in this run, we're also not going to be seeing the Mole Knight stages, but I think you might remedy that a bit later on.
Yes, I will be doing something about that later. Oh god, you went for that! Okay.
That is something.
You're supposed to be hitting these beakers and tubes, which pop these corks around, and they let you then do some additional platforming. Spleen's the best for a reason. He's gonna be showing. I love this last room.
Spleen is really good with a lot of the moon jumps here, so you'll notice he's about to do another one. And ta-da!
Nice. Saves 1 whole second, costs you a minute and a half if you fail it. Because King's levels are so short, he only has 1 checkpoint per stage. If 1 checkpoint per stage, sometimes 2. So he's one of the most punishing characters to play as.
Now, most of the time, those checkpoints are off the beaten track, so we won't even be able to get them.
This is definitely
such as in this stage, Ratsploder Runway, where there is a checkpoint in a room that we'll be going to, but it's kind of out of the way, so we're just gonna hope that we don't die here. But it can be a very punishing stage because this is one of the stages that has the fire cycles, which if you're in a room at the wrong time, the fire cycles can get you if you're not prepared, and that makes improv pretty difficult. So generally, you want to be on the same consistent cycle. But this is the most technical room coming up here because you'll notice the fire cycles before just go up and down and up and down. But over, there are going to be some fire cycles that just go round and round and round. And you got to make sure that you're standing on the fire thingies at the right time so you don't get blasted off, as there are also a lot of bottomless pits here. And it's also very punishing with health, so hopefully...
Okay. Let's talk about health real quick. In this campaign, unlike the other characters, King Knight has, I don't know what to call it, brawn over brains. He'll take 1 full heart of damage from every hit instead of varying amounts depending on what hits you. So for King Knight, he has 4 health. That means he has only 4 hits worth of health, as opposed to Shovel Knight or Spectre or King, where 4 hearts would mean 8 hits. King is therefore slightly nicer, but also slightly meaner. Your bash attack can constantly get in the way of enemies, so you'll end up taking damage from them. But enemies also give you hearts back, so it's something you have to be very conscious and aware of as you're playing as King Knight.
Another benefit to having the charge armor is that you can charge it whenever, like with King, generally with the regular armor, you can only bash if you just hit the ground or if you pogoed off something like once or twice. But with the bash armor, you can just, as long as you're charged. So it's pretty useful in that regard as well. Ooh!
I like that. That looks really tight, though.
It is really tight.
Oh, man.
It looks kind of tricky, but it's even harder.
That's rough. This character is something.
Mm-hmm. So this is the hardest room in the game. It truly is.
Ah, yes. I was going to do a variation of this. Don't sweat too much.
I don't know. You say that, it makes me want to sweat.
So, coming up is indeed a boss, and I will be showing how much more of a boss it is later on. But for any naysayers or non-believers as to Turncoat, this one shuts me up pretty quick.
This is one of Turncoat's probably one of the biggest time saves, especially in terms of bosses, because Troople's hitbox is very, very, very large.
Excuse me, what did you say?
Troople's hitbox is pretty large.
Trouble.
Oh, man. But as you can see, it allows you to basically do the same... Oh, a little... Well, you get the picture. But basically it allows the little blast that Turncoat releases to go through his body twice for a very quick boss fight, since he also gives you a lot of projectiles to charge the Turncoat off of.
Yeah, if you do the fight properly, Trouple literally has 1 heart left at the end of the first phase, so you just jump off and bash him twice. Or bash Pogo.
Well, I was just showing off, nice old maths, I hit him with the 3, I hit him with the 2, I hit him with the 1. So I did 6, 4, and 2 damage. Quick maths.
Yacht Club was pretty nice. You might have seen Play wandering on the map just now. None of the mini-bosses will spawn in... Oh god, good luck on this first room, depending on what you're going to do.
Like, kind of rough, because if you miss it just a little bit, the rat can easily knock you into the way, and then you die. Pretty epic first room.
So yeah, as I was saying, the developers were pretty nice in the sense that when you're going fast, the mini bosses on the world map won't get in your way.
Coming up here,
nice.
He's going to be doing a thing that we saw earlier, where he's able to hit side of the pillar that he normally... Yeah, it seems like you wouldn't be able to knock the pillar that way, but you can.
You shouldn't be able to.
Well, it's just the Brigandine showing us why it's the best. Why it's top dog.
Top banana. It's a good thing that we go through the Clockwork Tower stages, because those are some of the best songs in the game. But Shock Assembly is one of the worst stages.
Shock Assembly is very punishing. these little shockers. You see that when you step over them, they release these things in both directions. And,
it wouldn't be so bad if the robots couldn't do it too.
So you got to make sure to not only watch where you're stepping, but watch where the enemies are stepping as well, which makes for some interesting gameplay. Coming up is one large room right before another checkpoint that we just passed. So in that regard, this one has 2 checkpoints, but the second one is pretty easy to get. So at least it's decent in that regard. Because this room can be kind of tough because you see we have 3 of those little shocker things and a guy walking across. It can be pretty frustrating if you're off the guy's cycle. Here, where you have just the shockers, it can be pretty rough, but provided you know when the things are going to blast off, you can get through just fine.
Oh, Spleen, in that last room, by the way, you could do a turncoat after the first choppy, and then you'll land on the last platform.
Yes, but I'd like to finish this run.
It hasn't failed for me yet. Speaking of...
failed for me an awful lot. That second chompy is the bane of my existence. Or at least one of them.
So in a second, we're going to shut up as soon as he says to shut up. Essentially, at the end of this level, as you can see, this is Cyclone Sierra, and the gimmick of this stage is these cyclones. Whenever you enter one, you'll come out of one that is the same color on that same room. That means that at the end of the level, there's going to be a bunch of them in an auto-scroller. And the thing about Shovel Knight levels is that everything in that room is loaded, including the goal ring, as soon as you enter that room. So he's going to have fun. Pay attention to the inputs on the left.
I fall off. And with that, I have no idea where I am anymore, because there is a moving one.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. But I think...
No.
Oh, man. Well, that's a bit unfortunate, but what would have happened is you would have seen the screen fade to black, and then the stage would be over.
I guess I'll have another chance to do this one later.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's my awful contribution for the run, and if I can't do it...
Great, no pressure on me, right?
Yeah. I don't know how to finish that sentence, actually.
Yeah, doing that auto-scroller blind is pretty dang tough, but there are some easier setups, and then with Turncoat, you can actually go for a trickier trick, where you blindly cancel the Battery Brigandine Bash with this Turncoat roll to get into it a little bit sooner.
And yes, so what I'm going to be doing is a lot of downwards bashing, because for some reason, downwards wind makes you fall less quickly. But the Brigandine Bash lets us go all the way. It completely ignores wind, which is very important in quite a few rooms of this stage, especially the last one.
This is the only flying machine stage we'll be seeing as well. You'll notice there are these like little dragon things that'll follow you around in a couple stages. They can be pretty annoying, but as long as you don't get hit by them, you'll be fine. Coming up is the last wind room. These are also on wind cycles, so if you get off, it can be kind of tough to time each jump to make sure that you don't get blown off one of the edges.
Yes, we have...
That Jawa isn't more of a problem than it usually is.
Yeah, apart from having the actual wind in the room, you have that Jawa that could blow you around as well.
Mm-hmm. So I'm also going to request some quiet time for this next boss.
I'll say immediately that it is possible to kill Spectre before he transforms if you played the game casually, and that is what Spleen's going to be going for. Oh, so close.
Alas, he bonked me as I bonked him.
The window in which you need to hit all of those hits on him while he's rising up into his next phase is pretty tight. You pretty much have no room for error. So if you get hit by any of the things he throws out, then you kind of get messed up, and then the rest of the fight is just with his coin flip.
It is a 20-second time loss if you fail that. Not to mention, a lot of people haven't straight up practiced what the Spectre fight is like, so you may end up, your mileage may vary.
Ideally, you're not really supposed to deal with that. So if you do, then it's like
Oh,
now for the
good
last
luck,
Burger
good luck.
King stage.
Mhm.
Or
So I'm
Birder
going to be
stage.
doing a double frame perfect trick, hopefully. That was found by Magic Madman, and then I found that specific application.
Oh, baby. Let's go. That was... Just use the moon jump to clip into some walls that allowed him to skip a room. That's going to be patched, but as of right now, it still looks pretty cool.
Yeah, so about patching in this game, the speedrun leaderboard does current patch. We wanted to show that off, even if it's not going to be allowed in runs later. And with that in mind, if you feel like doing runs on various patches, that's cool. We're not going to stop you from doing that. It's just we set up the leaderboard so that it's fair for people on any console. But you're allowed to play the game however you want. And if you want to join the server in regards to learning any form of speedrun, we have multiple leaderboards for random, wacky, crazy categories, etc.
Okay,
Good
so
luck on King Birder.
I'll need it. I'm going to do a crazy strat, but let's not explain it. Let's just see if I get it.
Alright. Alright.
Oh, baby! Oh, baby!
So King Birder can be a very tricky fight because he moves around like a DVD logo and he spews like everything he can possibly spew.
Oh, so close!
But if you get him in like the exact right position, then you can just continually pogo and bash and pogo and bash and pogo and bash, and you get most of his health down pretty quickly. But he also his health at certain points, so you'll want to kind of have that not happen. You can skip the last refill, but overall it's just a matter of doing all the hits and not getting hit by everything he throws. So it can be a very difficult fight. Although technically, aside from the blocks, I think there's no real RNG.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
there is.
There's like
the way the lasers move is they can either go up or down. So luckily, with turncoat, we don't need to worry about that. But Mumu, on the other hand,
For this fight, because the laser does big charges for it.
I'm a believer that the fight is basically entirely based on your position, but because it's like essentially pixel, it's down to the pixel. It might as well be random.
Yeah, it's kind of all based off your first dash. So
Ooh, that was a scary dash.
that was pretty tight.
the room gets scarier. I just wanted to make sure I didn't get chomped by the super chomps.
What are these things called? Apart from absolute degenerate minions, I don't like them.
I think garbage.
The running theme of Yacht Club found a way to make an enemy the runners hate that much more of a nightmare.
Yeah, these guys are exploded, so if you kill them, if you like what you should be doing, they're not done with you yet. You gotta make sure that you're still out of their way despite them being dead. Because they'll explode, and that can lead to some pretty frustrating stuff, especially with this last choppy we'll be seeing here, as it's right next to the goal ring, which is above a pit. So, we'll be seeing how that guy does.
Yeah, there it is in chat. Because I knew that they were called fairies, but yeah, the exploded ones are called flaries. Oh, nice try, though. I saw you going for that clip right there.
Well, you gotta try. But no, unfortunately, there's no setup for the clips, so it's pure skill, baby.
Good. Choppy though.
But yes, by luring the final flary, I like garbage as a better name. Luring the final flary, we can get past him quite easily.
This is one of my favorite levels, Lava Well. Although Red Pan doesn't seem to quite enjoy this level as much.
Yeah, I don't like this level. It's it's very frustrating because there's so many things, and turncoat allows, like, especially this part, you know, you can go through it real fast. But I don't really know what it's like to go through it without, because there's just a lot of guys that can come down and then they throw like everything at you. But you'll notice we were skipping that checkpoint, which makes them all the scarier. I kind of, to be honest, like my frustration with this level is kind of down now because I figured out the last room. But this last room is like super weird because the ice allows you to move, like walk faster on it, but you also want to be dashing because that's also faster than walking on the ice. But then you also have this dragging.
Oh yeah, shoutouts to the art team, as Nick was, for making this super cool dragon that is an absolute nightmare to deal with.
Yeah.
No, I don't see him that often.
Of that room like a boss. So now for the last, and I think I can be safe with saying that this is like definitely universally
Oh, this level blows.
You'll notice we start out, and you'll see these little green lines on the top and bottom. As you can see, they allow you to teleport between different sections of that screen. So generally, you want to make sure that you're not going to be teleporting onto some spikes, which can definitely be a... But for the most part, it's just going through these rooms that are kind of... Oh, I never thought about...
Ooh, that's
Well, that should have worked, but this room is like very frustrating because you have to use this. From what I can tell, you have to use the slime in order to get up it.
Yeah, you're supposed to use the warp mechanic. Nice.
Yeah,
People who thought that this game had wall hypers were probably not too far off, honestly.
All right, didn't die. Ooh. All right, and turncoat once again proving its little bit of usefulness. And here we have an auto-scroller that is...
Oh, thank you for getting that checkpoint.
Yeah, I didn't want to put you guys through the whole level again.
He had a very good reason for getting this checkpoint. Albeit it's an auto-scroller, but it is a very difficult auto-scroller. There's a lot of enemies that'll appear at the very top of the screen. You want to make sure you're not near close to the bottom of the screen or the top of the screen.
Ooh! I was like ready for you to die there.
Yeah, that's why I got the checkpoint.
That was very good, but guys like that will just come down on you, and you gotta make sure that you don't get knocked by any of them, because if you do, you'll pretty much fall, because your only platforms are these tiny moving blocks that are going back and forth constantly. Technically, it thing where you could skip the where you could skip this auto scroller section, but the last ladder is in a 1 block unit space, and that would be pretty much impossible to do RTA. But pretty much everything else, for the most part, is spawned properly. Just the ladders aren't spawned, so you wouldn't be able to climb up it like normal.
I can't wait for the task that will eventually do this entire auto-scroller blind.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are one of the enemies that can spawn right up where you are and completely knock you off, so you just want to take it slow and steady, wait for them to spawn, then go up and hit them. Once you hit the blue guy, all the others die, so in that regard, it's not too bad. And the last...
I'm taking this one safe.
Ooh,
Okay.
Very safe.
These floating rats, which can definitely ruin your day, because while they're moving, like they're meant to target you, they're also random to a degree, so they can definitely knock you off if they want, which can be very frustrating for an auto scroller that just lasted.
You're gonna be inflating my estimate because I'm gonna be going for all the things that you haven't gone for.
Well, good luck with that.
Thanks.
Well, I had an astral vision of me getting hit by the rat, falling down, Mumu saying something like that laugh or a scream of some sort, and then me actually dying, even though I could have saved it if I weren't being yelled at. So, I had a bit of a bad feeling about it, and you should go on your feelings. Go with your gut.
Good. My gut's telling me to panic like a baby, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Splint's coming up on the last 3 bosses. We have the Enchantress, which is literally the same fight that Spectre Knight had, but now you're playing as King Knight.
It also respawns these purple blocks that are basically just regular blocks, but kind of. Well, they don't really have that many properties, but basically she'll be using those to spawn them up, and they don't really fight. Other than that, the fire ones she puts up can charge the turncoat pretty easily. But the turncoat is also pretty useful in this fight. It allows you to use the purple balls she throws as much to your advantage as possible. So you're going to be wanting to activate her next phase and then turncoat.
Oh
man, it's kind of rough. But you see these orbs make for damage under the stage actually if possible. And King's dives, or Enchantress's dives, when King's bashing them, work like magic. King's bash allows him to go up, just constantly climb up Enchantress's dives, and you get so many hits with that. So that's pretty nice. But
it's one of the few instances of his bashes actually not getting you hecked up in the act.
Yeah.
Well, there's the King Birder grind as well.
Yes, thankfully. Unfortunately, for all the items that we get, this is the reason why people can kind of do whatever they want throughout the routes, unless if you're trying to go for like the best time. A lot of the items don't work on these last 2 bosses. This is the Grand Triumvirate, and for the most part, you're intended to deal damage by bashing into its ears, these giant gemstones. So Battery Brigandine does work on them at the very least. It's very difficult, though, to keep up consistently. Because you basically have to let it go. You have to let go of the
Especially
charge
since
the
he's
moment
moving
it's
his hands all
ready.
the time. You really want to make sure. And also, your health is pretty low, and he spews a lot of stuff, so it's like it can be quite the fight. Especially since you can't really get any fast damage on him. You're just bashing him over and over again. It's all about keeping your composure and the setup.
This is really hard to do too.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're gonna see some phase skipping. This last fight has this weird thing where if you don't land on one of the platforms during the second phase, then he just stays on the right side when he should be going to the middle.
Time.
And that allows us to just,
Shoutouts to David. Very nice.
33-24, not bad.
Not bad.
That beats my time.
Yes. Well, just I've got to be quiet because I've got to keep the rhythm of the brigandine. But I like to think of it as just giving a little peck on the cheek. Just little kisses, because you can see all the heart
kiss for
comes
good luck.
streaming out.
David found that by mistake in challenge mode, and he calls it brain freeze. He's the resident dad in the community, so I always thought that he told him a joke so bad that he's just been like paralyzed with that gripping agony from hearing a bad dad joke.
Here we get to see King Knight betraying everybody he's made friends with. So you can see just how good of a guy he is.
Yeah, King Knight's a great, upstanding individual.
He's a real role model for all of the youth of the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, a friend in need is a friend in debt. No?
Yeah.
A kind of friend he can forget.
The kind of friend he can hope to see wiping his floor.
So let's talk about world record really quickly. World record right now, Spleen, what's your PB? 31:40, you said? Or something like that?
31:47.
47. Now, Spleen did have a faster time that was a 31:20, I think?
Mm-hmm.
31:19.
But that was done using the clips, and unfortunately we couldn't stop him before he did the clips. But yeah, that's not going to be valid when the patch hits that gets rid of the wall clips. But Jakob's pretty nice. They actually...
It's okay for now, It's still current patch for now.
Mm-hmm.
Still a good run, though. I would recommend you go and watch it on his YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
He's quite good.
Yaklub did say that they thought the interaction between Battery Brigandine and the turncoat was cool, and they want to keep that in. So they've promised us that they would be keeping that if possible. We'll see once the patch hits how much of it still works.
Yeah, but they're cool guys. They'll do it. They'll keep it in. It's cool. They're nice. They gave us such a great game. Such a great rolls. And they made that was it Flary pun?
Oh, God. So,
who could make puns and be bad?
Croaker. Toader. Also NPCs in this game.
Should I spoil the ending?
Oh, of course. Do you have any shoutouts that you want to throw, Spleen?
Can I shout out myself?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Sure. I'd like to shout out myself, and I'd like to shout out my two friends, and my three friends now, who were in the chat with me. That's you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. This was a good round of fun.
So, why not shout out yourself? Shout out your friends. We're the one doing it. We're the ones doing it.
And actually, we're going to have one of these friends going to be running some more King Knight after this, right, Mumu?
Hi, I'm ready.
All right. Well, you might be ready, but we're just gonna take a couple-minute break here to get Mumu's stream up and everything. We have a night filled with King Knight. We're gonna have any % scepter for King Knight coming up by Mumu. So just a couple quick announcements before we head off from that. Hotfix is funded in part by your subscriptions and ad views, everyone. And if anyone has Twitch Prime, consider helping out and contributing to this Hotfix content. Otherwise, even just sharing the stream when a show's live, spreading the love helps out too. We're gonna go into a quick ad break, and we'll be back right after this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Testing Grounds, a show where we showcase new games coming out. So we just had a great run by Spleen, and we have Mumu here from the mic to the stage.
We also have Dan.
Good evening.
All right. So Mumu, anything you want to say before we get started here?
Yeah, so I'm about to show off an alternative route. I'm gonna go open. Blah, 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 words are hard. I'm gonna open up a completed file real quick just to show off a bit of the world map. I mentioned earlier that there's a bunch of routes you can do. Those stages with a purple jar on them, that indicates where you can pick up one of King's other weapons. So you can see that I haven't done the turncoat. Up here is the Rat Bombardier. Down there is the Duelist Glove. And in World 2, there is the Scorching Saber. World 3, there's Gyro Boots. So if you find one of the other items more fun and interesting, you can certainly come up with a route that completes levels in a different way. Have fun. And I'm going to be showing off the Scepter route. Also, you saw that my King Knight was pink, and that's, like I said before, you can change what color your character is cosmetically for the run, because this game is on many, many systems. This is on basically every Wii U, 3DS, Switch, PS3, PS4, Vita, PC, Xbox 360, and One. And Amazon Fire TV, my favorite.
It
Really?
didn't make the Ouya.
It's actually on that.
Well then.
I was kind of not kidding when I said you could almost run on a calculator on Monday. But yeah, we try to keep it even Steven across all the different consoles so people can run it on any platform. And if you want to run with a color code, I have a file right here that doesn't have anything done. I just copy this file over, and I am good to start. We start on yes on choose this profile. And with that, we are good to go. So I'll count it down from 5. On go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So as Mumu said, he's going to be going through a slightly different route, picking up a different item. And this was one of the runs as the speedrun was developed. This was one of the routes that was considered viable, and it's really fast. Mumu's got a pretty decent PB in it as well. Unfortunately, because of the stages we have to go through, it does end up being a little longer just because of the sheer levels you have to traverse to get it.
Yeah, essentially, this item saves so much time used in levels that it almost accounts for the fact that you have to do an extra level over turncoat. But because turncoat has better boss kills as well, Scepter is not going to be the fastest unless if I were to play like an absolute madman. I also have to get more merit medals.
Yeah, that'll be the first difference you see in the route is he's going to pick up a couple extra medals that you didn't see Spleen pick up because the Scepter is going to cost 8 medals, I believe, as opposed to the 6 we need for the turncoat. Luckily, it's going to be later on in the run, so you've got a little bit more time, and we can route in those extra 2 medals without losing.
So in the meantime, let's just talk about this game just came out. So Shovel Knight itself came out in 2014, and King Knight was a patch or a DLC that you could purchase, purchase and download. If you bought the original game, you got King for free. But yeah, this came out in December last year, so it hasn't been out for very, very, very long.
And December 10th, I think it was, that it came out, and we very quickly had 40, sub 40 times on the league. Oddbod being an early world record holder with a 36. And then Spleen has kind of dominated the leaderboard, trading off with Breadpan as well.
And the low percent leaderboard is also pretty important to note because that's where a lot of the good strats found. Basically, when a new campaign came out, people would split up between which categories they wanted to tackle. A lot of people gravitate towards 80%. But the nice thing is the people who want to do low percent, oh, hi mom, bye mom. is that they find out what's optimal without getting any of the items.
So this is, we just passed Mom's house. She will cook you food for money, and it will give you extra hearts. I don't know if Moomoo's going to be picking up a heart or not during this run.
No.
I usually grab at least one, if not two, during my runs, just to make sure I'm not losing it at the very.
Yeah, I encourage, if you would rather have safety health, do it. Okay, I'm fine. Woo boy.
You're right there, Moo.
I meant to hit the lantern, and I didn't.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of things you can buy in the campaign casually, including extra vigor, which is kind of your mana, extra health. There's all kinds of upgrades and attacks, but we're gonna still go with the battery brigandine, which gives us the charged bash, and then, like we said, the scepter, which I won't spoil its magnificence until we get there. I'll let us all experience that together.
Okay, I'm trying to show off some of the more tricky stuff because I'm a little less concerned about how well I do. I may end up panicking because a lot of the tricks for King Knight's campaign are super specific. So I have to make sure that I get them or I'll die.
Yeah, there are a lot of these times you'll see him bouncing off these lanterns where you're bashing into it and then spin jumping or pogoing off of. Depending on where you are in its hitbox, you can get that very quick, so you don't have to do the full jump in. And then he just makes us all feel bad by demolishing Spectre Knight.
I actually got a good fight.
Anytime Spectre Knight's not in the air or on the platforms, you can get him down pretty quickly with some cleverly timed.
I'm feeling all the Terrys in chat. Are you okay? I am most certainly not okay. Speedrunning is an exercise in heart conditions for me.
Yeah, and you mentioned the low percent runners. Shoutouts to Magic Madman and Explode Your Ear, both in chat, who are just like demolishing low percent and making us any percent runners a little more self-conscious about our time.
Oh yeah. Shoutouts to Wes Beardtooth for that matter as well. He's also a really good low percent runner. As was mentioned before, quitting to menu is faster than actually leaving the stage. It skips out on animations as well.
Yeah, you'll notice the overworld will all be revealed when you come back from the quit out. So that's the big time save there, is skipping the overworld animation.
For people who are asking, yes, I am primarily a Spectre Knight runner, but I actually have a time for literally every category on the leaderboard. Or I did before King Knight came out. I've yet to do all of King Knight's categories, but I've run every other category of this game, and some that are not known to man. So you can see I'm not taking the secret exit here because I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be saving my medals for when I purchase the Swiftness Scepter.
And that is one thing specific to King Knight, that the item levels, you have to be able to purchase the item to get through them. So even though it's a shorter route, you have to have the medals saved up to even access, which is why we're going to take the longer exit here and then play the full level as opposed to the route Spleen took.
All right, like I said, I'm going to be going for a lot of tricks at least once. This is a very stupid one. I'll go for it once. If I don't get it, I'm not doing it again. But there's an extremely precise jump that you can get in this level that I would never want to do in runs. But I'm here to entertain the people, and so long as I don't go overestimate, right? This jump is really, 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 really precise. Ah! I got it! Oh my god!
Yeah, so what makes that jump so precise is you've got a certain amount of time between initiating the bash that you can then bash again and put you into your roll. And to get the max distance, you've got to wait till the last second to roll. And if you don't, you just fall down a pit. So
yeah, it's great. Costs you, 40 seconds if you fail it.
We're going to skip that book so we can save a little bit of time. There
oh,
we
that's
go.
a gold foot I'll never get again.
You're also going to be waiting to get the armor upgrade until later in the run.
Yeah, I'm not going to be getting it as soon as I beat Pridemore because I won't have enough money. But speaking of some of best, if you may be wondering, how much time does turncoat save? Spleen some of best right now, I believe, is around like a high 30. Oh goodness, I'm fine. I'm so fine. I didn't die. Whew. It's mid 30, I believe. Even without the extra skips. And mine is a 31:41, so I'm losing almost a minute by picking up the scepter, but that's okay because it's a more fun route.
So that near-death experience is a good thing to point out because you do, when you take damage, you refresh your ability to bash. So even if you bashed and then took damage and never touched the ground again, you do refresh that ability to bash, which is why Mumu was able to save himself from inevitable.
And I'm also going to be breaking this checkpoint because I really need the money, and I kind of don't want to break this checkpoint, but you know.
Yeah. So part of routing in the items and the armor we're going to buy also has to do with when we naturally go to the ship, which is why the turncoat route does it immediately after this boss, and Mumu's going to wait a couple. Pridemore's got a couple of different patterns he can give you. Impersonating Mario here, trying to jump as much as possible.
Got him. Yeah, Pridemore can be a bit of a bully.
Yeah, sometimes you using your iframes to get inside of his hitbox so you can bash his head when you normally wouldn't be able to is good strat a lot of times.
Someone asking me about why I didn't pick up the decree. So in this game, there are things the King Knight can use, one-use items that are similar to the chalice that Shovel Knight got, where you can refill his health. King gets decrees, and you can pick up a decree in the previous room that summons a minion that deals damage. I don't pick it up. It's very slow and it's not necessary. But now I'll be going to World 2, and I'll be going without my armor upgrade right now, because you do get to go back to the ship after certain events. And I will be doing that after I pick up my weapon. So first I have to do Floating Frog Fin. Without the convenience of Turncoat, I have to be careful because frogs can easily get in the way.
Yeah, these frogs will pop out of their bubble as soon as you either hit them or just, travel below. And the bubbles in this level are random. If you see them coming up from the bottom of the floor, sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not.
There we go. I had to wait for bubbles. Great. It would be nice if I had the battery brigandine, because then I wouldn't have to, but that's just how it is. That's fine.
Yeah, that's one of the extra medals we get. And depending on how the frogs behave, it is or isn't easy. And
okay, my money is really, really low, but I think I have enough. This route is so tight on money, it's actually hilarious.
So this is where we're going to be having a major route diversion. We're going to go to pick up this, and it's the scepter. It's going to give us really, really fun movement options.
This is very similar to Judgment Rush for Spectre Knight, where it allows you to skip large portions of the screen, but it's extremely expensive to use. It costs 14 of my Vigor just to be able to use it once. And I'm not getting any Vigor upgrades either.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 uses per full bar, which means we got to route in, picking up plenty of Vigor in the stages that we're going to be using it. Which is the next stage is
I'll let you all see how much money I have. Every penny counts in this route.
So part of the reason why the money is so tight on this route is because the free 400 gold that Turncoat gets you, this route doesn't. So if you don't have that 6,500, you're scrounging around the ship looking.
Alright, so this is actually a really awesome level. This previously was thought to be an auto-scroller, but apparently if you don't touch the Bodo, it doesn't become an auto-scroller.
Yeah, this
I'm dead.
This strat went through several iterations once we found out that it wasn't indeed locked as an auto-scroll.
Yeah, so Muncha Koopas, who's one of the devs for the game now, he actually is a QA tester, and he has made some of the levels. I was expressing some concern about this campaign because I was like, man, there's a lot of auto-scrollers, and it would be nice if we didn't have to do so many of them. I'm playing like a baby right now because I don't want to die. And he was like, this isn't an auto-scroller. I was like, what? And so we all just kind of freaked out because it indeed is not an auto-scroller. Can you please get out of my way? Thank you. So yeah, you can actually do something like this to get past this last section because it's covered in spikes. Oof, nice.
Yeah, utilizing the damage boost so you've got iframes on what would be instant deaths. It's a really tricky and clever strat there.
Yeah, a lot of the scepter strats are super crazy, like the end of this level. So again, we have myself, I am Moonwook, I am the runner, and then we have Dan the VP, who just started running this game. Is this your first time running Shovel Knight in general?
Yeah, this was my first of any of the Shovel Knight campaigns to speed.
And you got a pretty good time for King Knight.
I'm only behind one of the any percent runners, so I'll take the comp.
I appreciate
Or in the low percent runner.
I mean, I appreciate the work that you're putting in. Alright, so here is the last room, and I'm going to be going for something that's, again, pretty dang terrifying.
Yeah, so the scepter is going to give you a lot of these movement options. And you might just miss the cork every now and then.
It's okay, I'm here to entertain the masses, and I would love to get as many of these tricks as possible.
Yeah, this just shows you the harder tricks that you can go for to save a couple seconds here and there, and the different interactions with the scepter and turn. And of course, the checkpoint is inconvenient, so.
Gonna be a little bit more careful this time, because yeah, I didn't grab the checkpoint.
Luckily, the corks all spawn at the same time once you've got. There we go. Once you hit the very first one.
You can actually make it all the way to the goal ring. I just wanted to play it a little bit safer that second time. Yeah, me screaming is a good example of what's about to happen, what's about to happen.
So you'll notice Plague Knight is on the overworld. We talked about it a little bit during Spleen's run, but most of the conventional Knight boss fights that you'll be familiar with from the other Shovel Knight campaigns are overworld encounters, which it's one of the reasons I really like this game, because there's only about 4 major bosses you have to fight, as opposed to like the 17 Shovel Knight has to.
Yeah, you get all of the previous bosses in this campaign, plus King Knight's new bosses.
Yeah, and luckily, the overworld is programmed so that if you're trying to go from level to level, you're never going to get a random encounter to prevent you from going to the next level.
Nice! Got it. First try.
Getting to the end of that level feels really, really satisfying, because those, if you don't make that cycle, it's just sitting and waiting on every pot.
Yeah, I'm actually making gold splits as we speak. By the way, this level has a really awesome skip. You saw that Spleen had to ride out a boat that took a long time, and honestly, I don't want to take any longer than I already have.
Yeah, I personally wish Scepter was faster and more competitive with Turncoat, because there are levels like this where we get to skip long, boring sections, and it's just more fun that way.
I'm gonna make sure I grab this checkpoint, though. Boats are for chumps! This is honestly my favorite reason why we have Battery Brigandine, so we can dance.
Yeah, I mean, let's not talk about how you were just able to use that to updash to, you know, spin jump off those last couple of fairies and not die, but sure, dancing, that's the most important part.
Of course.
I can't tell you how many people I've seen spend half an hour on this section dying to these fish, only to figure out you're completely safe.
I'm glad that we have this section because we do get to listen to the music. This is one of my favorite tracks in the game. All the new music, shoutouts to Jake Kaufman, is really, really awesome. But alas, Scepter does have one weakness, and that is boss fights. Not super good.
Now, does his hitbox get hit twice by the scepter as well, or is it just?
Does not.
Oh,
So I have to do a lot of interesting shenanigans. And make sure I don't land in the water. If you land in the water, you get a cutscene that takes forever.
that's still that was still very, very fast for not having to.
I mean, Spleen didn't nail the turncoat kill, so I probably was just about even with him. Yeah, Saba Pings in chats. Shout out to Oddbod. Again, he was one of the first runners for this game back when rats were still all over the place in terms of what we were doing. This next room is an example of reasons why I appreciate Scepter, because this first room is super garbage, and Spleen almost died in this first room. He nailed it perfectly, but like that rat is so terrifying. Whereas I can just do this.
So you can still get crushed in this game, even if you have iframes. So if that rat rolls into you and knocks you back, you will just get crushed.
Essentially, every use of Scepter that I use is saving about 4 to 5 seconds over rolling through the stage. Depends on, like, it can save a lot more time than that. But, you know, it's pretty nice having the Scepter.
Yeah,
this one in particular is pretty nice.
Yeah, it ends up being a lot faster gameplay. You just have to play more of the game.
Okay, so now we're doing Cyclone Sierra, and I'm gonna have to concentrate at the very end so that I can act. Oh, wait. Shock assembly, because I'm an idiot.
You just want to forget this level exists.
I
know
really
how
did shut it out of my memory because it's not cool.
Luckily, there is a checkpoint at the end that's there and pretty much unavoidable. So when you're starting out new to this game and learning different runs, being a little bit more unforgiving, you can save yourself and maybe save a PB with a conveniently placed checkpoint.
Oh, good. I needed that magic drop. Oh, bad. I ran into a gear. This is fine. My health is totally fine. I'm not terrified.
Yeah, you got 2 hearts. And a checkpoint. What more could you ask for?
You know, this guy not to bully me. Woo, okay, we're fine. And skip this last room. Thank you, bye.
Yeah, sometimes it's definitely easier just to wait and not die.
There is a little bit of delay between me, the runner, and what Dan and you guys are seeing, so I'm slightly going to be spoilerinos here, but I'll try not to pop off too early on this next one, because this is quite the stage. As we explained before, these cyclones and a lot of the other stage elements are already loaded as soon as I enter the room, so I'm going to be doing an auto-scroller blind.
Yeah, so what you're not going to see is he's going to be navigating the cyclones that are all already spawned when the auto-scroller starts while they're off-screen.
Alright, to quote King Knight, silence!
And when things disappear, you know he succeeded.
Nailed it!
And there are That was very intimidating starting running this game. Thankfully, there are really consistent strats. Just learning the timing and listening to what's going on in the level. So if you're thinking about running this game, don't get too frustrated with plenty of people around to help you learn the new and harder tricks.
Easy every time. Clap. Ah! This bug did not want to clap. No! The wind.
Luckily, all the big Jawas are pretty easily manipulated in this level, so they're not terribly frustrating like they have been in past.
Yeah, it's nice that you can actually just go down here and it never spawns.
Yeah, there's actually supposed to be an enemy on that screen. Yes, there is a Discord for Shovel Knight speedruns and a Discord for Shovel Knight in general for non-speedrun related stuff. I'm sure we'll get some links in the chat when convenient.
Yep, but for now, I have to focus because I'm doing Spectre too. So, Spleen didn't get to show this off, but I will hopefully be trying. This weapon's harder to do that with because I need Spectre to be in the corner for this to work. Ah, dang. I would have had it, but I didn't have enough health. And he got his Bounding Souls off. So I'll get the chance to show that off again. Hopefully.
Yeah, so once Spectre gets to 4 full dots of health, the next damage, he's going to start his transformation. So we've got to get in 8.
5. Please. 1, 2. Ah! I was glad that Spleen at least even got the kill because yeah, this is a pretty heartbreaking part of the run for a lot of the runners. That said, we're still trying to we're trying to figure out setups that will guarantee work.
Which another benefit of the turncoat route is a lot of the damage that Moon's taking during this fight, turncoat absorbs that damage and reflects it, so it's naturally a little bit safer on some of these fights as well.
Oh, I would have had it. Alright, I'm just gonna kill him. What a jerk. I do have to be careful, he can still kill me, which is the problem.
Yeah, would recommend actually practicing this stage of the fight if you're gonna speedrun this. There is plenty of time save everywhere to have a decent and respectable run and not get this skip.
I have no idea where I am. I love this.
Dark is an interesting and unique mechanic, is it not?
I would just chill up here forever. This is a nice screensaver, by the way. But we've got things to do. Alright, get out of here, Spooky. We don't need you right now. I wish I could say that was it for terrifying and difficult tricks, but King Birder also has a really difficult setup that we'll hopefully be able to get.
Yeah, this is definitely the choke point in the run with the phase skip for Spectre Knight and then King Birder after this level as well.
If you can make it past this point of the run and you're in good shape and you get both of those skips, great. Good luck finishing the rest of the game. Please do.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, getting that run or running against that run, because that's where I'm at now.
That's where I'm at right now, too. I got both of those tricks.
So a lot of this level is cycle based, and just depending on how quickly you get to things is going to determine which cycle you can make. And it looks really easy whenever everything is one cycle, or you have the scepter and you can just skip an entire room.
Yo, I got it. Nice. That was a weird. You can actually up bash on ladders, but you have to do it basically frame perfectly. All right. So here's Birder. Let's see if I can get him in the corner of pain. Oops. Darn. Okay, so I'm gonna have to deal with the regular fight.
Which this is one place that if you're learning this game and want to try to salvage runs, picking up the Griffin Decree in the first world can give you a little bit of a boost to damage. Get through this fight a little bit quicker.
Yeah, these fights are the hardest parts of the run easily.
You remember what I said about wishing Scepter was faster? I take it back. I'm happy with Turncoat. The more I see these bosses...
Agony. Pain and agony. If I can get him in the corner of pain, that would be enough for me. Of course. Why would he?
So a lot of what King Birder's doing is kind of predictable, but still RNG enough that depends on which way the laser's going to bounce. Is he going to go to the top of the room? Is he going to go to the bottom of the room? Where are the blocks going to move to?
It's like a roguelike. I'm trying. Okay, so now I just want to take damage. I don't have any vigor. That works too. He's in the ceiling, which means you can kill him pretty easily.
Yeah, so you can skip some of his healing if you deal enough damage in a quick enough period.
All right, Spleen, I tried. I highly encourage and recommend practicing these bosses because they do save a ton of time, but they are very difficult to nail in runs. Okay, so we have now the end of the game, and this is actually where Scepter really shines because Turncoat has to deal with a bunch of rooms that are super awful, whereas I can just fly over them.
Yeah, flying is definitely a benefit when you can fly. I don't know if I've seen some of these rooms with the scepter strats.
There is a battery brigandine strat that I wanted to go for, but I'm coming dangerously close to the estimate, and I don't want to look like I'm bad at video games. So I'm going to be a baby and not go for it. But I will talk about it because you'll get to see what the concept is and how you can save a small amount of time.
You know, we can just up the estimate, it's fine.
Thankfully, if I die, it would only cost me a minute, but it would not be super fun. Essentially, right here, I would do a battery brigandine charge under this platform and not get hit by spikes and not touch the death plane, and you can imagine that is as fun as it sounds. And it would save me the whole cycle.
I see you're on team damage boost at the end there. I like it.
So long as you have the health. All right, now this is absolutely a stage where Turncoat Receptor shines. Nice gold count.
I've always really enjoyed this level. I know it can be frustrating. Feels good to go fast in though.
Yeah! Yeah!
Or, you know, it feels good to just skip the entire thing.
That's right, that feels great. I don't feel a bit of shame in the slightest. Especially this last room. Oh, I love it.
You don't even get to have that much fun ice skating, though.
I don't know. This is better for my peace of mind. Yes!
Nice. So how many screens worth of distance does the scepter take you?
That's a good question. Hold on, I'm gonna go for a very scary trick right here. Yes! Okay, cool. It does eventually end. I would wager at least 2. And I'm going to be going for the auto-swiller. The quick auto-swiller finish, so I also am going to grab the checkpoint. I have practiced it.
It is convenient that the scepter still takes you through enemies without having to kill them. That's a similarity between this route and the turncoat route. Is you just skip a lot of stuff by going.
Well, unfortunately, the bigger issue with it is that it doesn't let you pass through hazards like that. Hello? You stay over there. Yeah, that's right, sucker. Rocking out to the music.
Yeah, to answer the question in chat, the scepter route is not currently the fastest route, but it was one of the ones that was ran and kind of part of the short speedrunning history of King Knight 80%.
I have thoroughly worked on the scepter route, so if you are not a fan of the tricks that you have to do with turncoat, scepter's pretty well established. But again, you can totally find whatever route works best for you. There are lots of other weapons, and who knows what tricks could be found that haven't been found yet.
Yeah, I would prefer way more people sub 40 and doing scepter or whatever route they want than anybody feeling like they have to go
Hold on.
world. I didn't see you fall to your death, so you hit the ladder.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
Well, Scepter, you have to play more levels to get, and so it's faster, but you have to play more of the game, basically.
Yeah,
And Turncoat does shine on a couple of the bosses for sure.
Yes, this is why Battery Brigandine is the best. It lets you rock out whenever you want. For no other reason. I would love to see lightweight plate runners.
That's the armor that gives you a run button, basically.
Oh yeah, it's super awesome. Alright, so we're coming up on the last couple bosses here, and unlike before where Spleen had Turncoat, I have to do this more similar to low percent, but I do have the Battery Brigandine, so I'll be making as much use of that as I can. You also saw that I ignored healing before this fight. Nice. Yeah! That's my best kill yet.
Nice. You always know it's fast if you didn't go back down again.
See how much I'm golding by. Ooh, nice. So I've shaved 6 seconds off my summit best throughout this run.
Awesome.
Alright, so we got two more bosses. And I have to deal with this pretty much the same way that Spleen did.
Yeah, any of your items are basically moot at this point, regardless of what route you took.
Give me this help. Thank you. Ugh.
So a lot of that fight is dependent on how quickly you get damage in, because he's got some health percentages that he'll always transform.
Time's coming up. Time.
And another good brain freeze kill on the final boss.
Thank you, thank you. So yeah, very few items actually work on Grand Triumvirate. Scorching Saber is one of them, but you will take damage in the process. The Blitzsteed also works on the Grand Triumvirate, and the Blitzsteed is a really good weapon. So I remember running Vestments of Vigor, Rat Bombardier, and Blitzsteed, and that was a lot of fun too. But yeah, thank you everyone for checking out Alternative King route, the Scepter route. Still very difficult, but certainly a lot of fun. I highly recommend that you join the Discord server, the Spade Brigade. Again, check out speedrun.com for the leaderboard and the rules that are there. And yeah, follow Top Runners. Ask us questions whenever you want. Follow Dan, follow me, follow Spleen, Breadpan, Oddbot. Wes, Explode. There are lots of people, and we'll always be there to answer questions you have about this. So please come in. Feel free to nag us.
Yeah, shout out to Spleen, shout out to Moo for the runs. Keep it in shape so we can show off the different routes in the game. GG to both of you.
And shout outs to Yacht Club for making such an awesome game.
Right, and so yeah, we have one more, I wouldn't say run coming up, but we do have a showcase that's going to be done by Magic Madman coming up. So we're just going to have a short break, and Magic Madman will teach us some cool tricks of how to practice, and also show us some low percent stuff. Stay tuned, everyone. Alright, welcome back everyone to Testing Grounds, a show where we go about talking about new games and also some ways for you to be able to practice those new games. And I'm joined with Magic Madman and Moo Moo.
Hi.
Before we get started here, just a couple quick announcements. So we have the first step tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where J-Hobbs and GDQ will be playing Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. We have Frame Fatales starting on February 23rd, going all the way to February 29th. And then also, just as a reminder, everyone, thank you for staying for that ad break. Hotfix is funded in part by your ad views and your subscriptions, so thank you everyone for helping out with that. And yeah, take it away.
I also want to drop a quick thank you for you and the staff at GDQ for running Testing Grounds and offering all kinds of communities the opportunity to show what's going on, both new and old.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. So I will show off the tool we are using to train for the speedrun. It doesn't work yet for the last version of the game, so I'm on an older one. So I will use Shovel Knight and a bit of Spectre Knight to show how it works.
Yeah, this program, S-Trainer, was made by Fledervy, or Fledervy. This was made for Freedom Planet use, but he's adopted it for use in Shovel Knight for us, which is really, really great. Essentially, there are a bunch of preset coordinates in this program. You can see a window of this application on the left, and that'll let you not only warp to different levels, but warp straight to bosses, determine your money, your health, boss's health, and it'll also allow you to do, well, it makes practicing tricks a lot easier. So go ahead and tell us what you're practicing, Madman.
So yeah, I will go for the beetle skip, the first one. So in the next room, there is a beetle, right here. which you have to ride, and it takes a bit of time to go. So we managed to find a way to pass him with the use of this blue guy here.
Our boy Steve.
Yes.
Looking good so far.
Yeah, and here we go.
Nice.
So
Very
this is a good one, but there is actually a better one.
Oh god, you're gonna go for that. I forgot about this.
Yeah, I will give it a few tries and then pass on the next part.
Let's see if you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a pixel perfect and frame perfect jump. You have to keep up with this this birder enemy, but you also can't afford to dilly dally. And obviously, running off and dying is no fun. So he has to run in, take a damage boost, and then jump off the corner of that sand block.
Okay.
You actually made it.
And
This
yeah.
is why we call him the Magic Madman.
Okay. So now I will teleport to the item of the stage. Just need to enter the good positions.
Yes, so for practicing these things, you can click set with current position, and that will bookmark where you are in the level. And then when you press F1, you will teleport to the position that was last saved. Nice money.
Yeah, I need some money, so yeah. I just take some.
And this is on
Okay.
a brand new file that still technically hasn't beaten the planes yet. So you can
Yeah.
set your files up for practicing anything in the run very, very quickly. A lot of people are concerned, oh, I just want to, get into it as soon as possible. This will help you do that. Now he has the Dust Knuckles immediately.
Yep. So I will mainly show off some alchemy coin tricks because this is the route we are doing on any percent when we are a bit crazy. So the alchemy coin looks like this. It's a coin, it rolls, it does a bit of damages, and you can knuckle in and pogo it as well.
Yeah, and you're not taking any damage when you're knuckling, so it actually allows you to get through the fire, a bunch of hazards. It's a really convenient item.
Yeah. So now I will go in the next stage. We are going in any percent because there are some coin tricks just to show off what it can do for you.
Yeah, this is a modified version of Cheat Engine.
Oh wait.
So that is something that I would like to bring up. If someone is well versed in programming or understands how these programs work, we could have it updated. Just to note, the markers and pointers in the program break with any patch, so Flattery's been holding off on doing it until the first patch comes out. Typically when a character is introduced, there'll be some bug fixes and that'll come up live within a couple months, and we're not going to bug him about fixing the trainer program until after that first patch comes out.
So could you actually talk about kind of the evolution of this tool? Because so I was actually talking about this tool with JHobs a bit, and it seems to have gotten like a lot of changes through time, over time.
It's super beefy now. Yeah, it used to literally only record your position and teleport you. Some quality of life changes were made to it. At some point, my F3 button broke. And Flat actually went and changed some of the hotkeys for what does what because of that. So I appreciate that. But yeah, now it initially only had the ability to teleport. You can set player health. You can set boss health. Oh, and Madman, if you would mind showing off the camera unlock feature.
Oh, I'm not used to it actually, but yeah.
So when you unlock the camera, you can actually have the camera literally focused on Shovel Knight. It doesn't matter. It will not adhere to the structure of the rooms.
So
and
yeah.
that's particularly useful because sometimes a trick that you're doing is off screen. So it lets you see what you're doing and you can understand why a trick works the way it does. This is particularly useful in the planes when you're trying to do bubble wrap.
Yep. So there is one last coin tricks I want to show off in this stage. Actually, two. There's this one.
Yo, nice.
Okay.
I love that one. And then
And this
good
one.
old 4 tentacles out of the way. Nice.
Oops.
Ooh, very close, very close. But that's what the program's for.
I forgot to take my position, actually.
That's okay. You end up at the last checkpoint, so the next time Madman gets to there, he can mark wherever he would like to start practicing, and then he can instantly teleport to that spot.
Ah,
Originally, the coin was a task-only item, but yeah, it was eventually... people were like, hey, can we do some of these tricks and runs? And the tricks that they can do in runs actually do save that time.
okay.
Very nice.
So that's it for this stage. We'll go find the dagger in flying machine.
Again, he still hasn't beaten the first level.
Yeah, I don't need it.
How would you say like a tool like this has changed practice in Shovel Knight for people? It seems like it is a vast improvement.
Yeah, okay, because of this program, the coin route is a thing. If it weren't for that, I'm really not sure if we would be at the point where we are.
Yes.
These tricks are super difficult. A lot of them are not only frame perfect, position perfect, but extremely complicated inputs that you have to do. If you look at the boss kills, and Madman will be doing some boss demonstrations later on. When I'm playing as Spectre Knight, you have to rotate between 5 or 6 weapons sometimes in a matter of seconds. While not to mention you're dealing with enemy position, your position, and these are things that are easily, quickly out of hand. Practicing certain tricks isn't even feasible, depending on what you are doing. Some bosses, when you kill them, they don't even start in the same position.
Oops.
For the second fight, so you would never know what you're doing in an actual run.
Yep.
And that's another thing that's really awesome about S-Trainer. Yo, nice knuckle there. Good job.
Yep.
Using the coin to actually beat the wind so he could get into this room early.
Oops.
And that's a trick that you can practice because of this program. Otherwise, you would probably be running out of magic. You'd have to find somewhere to die. You'd have to be able to set this up very quickly.
I don't think I would go for any percent without this tool because it's really useful. I could show this boss fight, I guess.
Yeah, so this is Propeller, and we'll be showing later on what you can do without this, but I'm assuming that you're going to go for, yep, the coin. Here it is.
Oops, I missed it.
That's okay.
But I have a coin.
Ooh, very nice finish. I love that. Nice
That was
job.
close enough.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, because of this program, we're able to practice these fights that when the runners first got this game in 2014, these were extremely difficult things to go for. The time remained very close to 50 minutes for a long time until runners eventually got used to it, but it's been pushed down dramatically. Record when I first joined the community was 43 minutes. Now it's down to a low 42, and Smoggy wants that 41.
Yeah. Good luck for him, actually, because...
There's basically only RNG left over. Think about that. In such an execution-heavy game like this, the only thing that's really left now is RNG, because of this program. Ooh, I love that trick! Which is also really difficult to practice if you just keep running out of money. But luckily, you can set yourself up, do it again and again.
I will go with the classic position. It's easier. Okay.
Nice! That trick saves, like, what, a second maybe?
Yeah, not that much, but...
But it's a trick that we can go for because of this program.
Every second matters, too.
Absolutely. How good are you at the Tinker Kill?
I'm pretty good.
So, Madman, what's your PB?
It's 45 something. It's not that great, actually. But I'm going for two hard strats, I guess. And yeah.
Yeah, Madman is going for strat that literally only top runners are going for, but this is something that he wants to do, and I applaud him for it.
Where went my position? Actually, let me grab the gear, and no, if I grab the gear, I can't show off what I want to show.
Oh, right. You need to get the mobile gear to be able to do the fight.
Yep. But I want to do another coin strat before, and if I have the gear, I can't do it because I have to swap 2 times my relics instead of once. You will.
Speaking of other practice tools, for runners who are keen on playing this on PC, but you want to play with a controller, you certainly can. And if the inputs are proving to be difficult, you can use the program Joy2Key to bind a bunch of the keyboard functions to your controller. That's how I play New Game Plus and 80%.
Ah, that was a bit low.
I see what you're going for there.
Here we go.
That was spicy.
And you say it's like nothing with that, but
Every second counts.
yep.
Every frame counts with this program.
So I will go to the Tinker fight.
Yes, Tinker 1, very difficult.
Yeah.
So Tinker 1 is not why we have this program. Tinker 2, however, is pretty terrifying. I'm going to go ahead and let you focus on this. Yeah, you can't see the coin.
All right.
Ooh, beautiful! What a kill!
That's a good one.
Again, I gotta say, Madman doesn't have one of the best times for the category. Still a respectable time, but look at what he can execute because of this program. Alright, so now we have Boss Rush, which notoriously not only difficult to practice, but quite arduous for a lot of new runners.
Ouch. That's not good, but I'm alive.
And this is the kind of thing that makes it possible to do some of the harder routes with a lot more confidence, because when you're playing any percent for Shovel Knight, you're not getting any health upgrades, and you're picking up this armor that makes it so that you take more damage. A lot of people we tell, hey, for safety reasons, you can totally pick up the extra health, make sure you have 6 hearts at least. But that costs about 2 minutes to do. So a lot of people are like, I don't want to do that. It's such a huge time loss. And you don't have to if you practice the stretch. This makes practicing so much more manageable.
Yeah.
Your confidence will go through the roof, I assure you. I feel like a Men's Warehouse commercial. You're gonna like the way you look after this.
Oops.
Alright, we got Mole Knight. Oh, I expect to see coin and gear. Nice. Nice. And
Yeah.
you could kill him even quicker.
Yeah, you can kill him quickly, but I missed 2 hits actually.
Now, another reason why you would be wanting S-Trainer for Boss Rush is because the bosses are in a random order, and Plague Knight is notorious for having, I want to say, 9 different patterns. And imagine having to go through Boss Rush, practice all of it, you'll never know when he shows up, and then you'd have to practice one of 9 different variations of killing him quickly. And in this case, it looks like Plague is going to be... Okay, second to last. Not terrible, but yeah, you...
Yeah.
Nice.
Gonna take the health because... Oh, come on.
Yeah, Plague Knight always gives runners the business end of the stick.
Yeah, he's the worst.
Ooh, I wonder if you're gonna go for which kill you're gonna go for. Let's see.
Ah,
Ooh, nice. I appreciate you going for it though. It's super YOLO.
it's quite hard, but yeah, I always go for it. And this is it for the boss rush. So I can go for the final stage.
This is another example of reasons why you'd want S-Trainer. Normally, to practice going through this stage, you would have to go through the tile block puzzle, which takes forever. It's a lot of just sitting around and waiting. I like where this is going.
Ah,
Ooh! Oh, but you can totally just, finish her off. And imagine that you wouldn't be able to do any of this practicing without running up to this part of the level every single time.
yeah. Plus, for each boss, you will need to die, and it takes a long time.
Let me see this.
Yeah.
Oh, nice! Okay, so you can literally only practice that once per playthrough of this level.
Yeah.
Because at this point, even if you die, you would be brought back to the last part of the fight. Ooh, the coin rise, nice!
Ah, I missed it.
Oh my
But-
goodness. But I'm so happy to see you going for all this.
And that's
Very
it.
nice. And that was previously not included in any percent because we just wouldn't get the coin. All these strats are really, really difficult. Like, it's dumb how precise they are. I recently made a guide. I made a YouTube series guide that details how you do all of this. And it took me hours to be able to get these tricks.
Yeah, this last fight took me like 2 hours to get. Just once. So
And
to
that's
get
literally the last fight.
to get it consistently, it takes you a lot of time.
And I guess that was S-Trainer percent. Nice job.
Yeah.
Because that was a brand new file.
I could actually go straight to the last boss and finish it, but I wanted to show off a bit of the coin.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. But that's not all, because what else have you got for us?
Yeah, I have a Spectre Knight, who is even better than Shovel Knight to get his items, actually.
Normally, if you were to be playing as Spectre Knight and you wanted to get his items, you would have to go and get skulls. Instead of with Shovel Knight, where you can just teleport to the vendor, you would have to get all the skulls, so you'd still basically be having to go through all the levels, which is kind of garbage if you wanted to practice. However, this is how good S-Trainer is. We found out a while ago that in the Tower of Fate hub room that you're in, all of the rooms with Spectre's Curios are actually on this map.
Oh.
So if you know the coordinates of them, you can teleport straight to those relic rooms. You don't even have to get the skulls.
I need to beat Black Knight, actually. Oh, I can't
actually,
move.
you can reload when you're in. You don't have to beat him.
Yes, you're right.
Aha! See, things that you learn from S-Trainer. So, normally the game would not allow you to move right there, but if you reload the level of the hub, ta-da!
Oops. Well, I will just... I noticed...
press F1, press F1.
I did,
I'm sorry,
actually.
I'm sorry. I meant F2, which should take you straight to the magic mirror.
Oh, I didn't know.
There you go!
Okay, nice.
I got you, see?
Yeah.
So now we're in the hub, and we didn't have to do anything.
So, I want some money. So...
Infinite money.
So I'm not used to play Spectre, so yeah. So I want this armor, I think.
The rail mail. That's the one.
Oh, she hasn't anything for me.
No, you would have to beat the level. So all you would do if you wanted to get like max health and everything is you would have to go through each level and then just set the boss HP to 1 and then give him a tap on the face. And then you would be able to purchase the Wisp back in the hub room. Also, what he's doing right now, giving money to Legion and Manny, you can only practice that once per run. So if you wanted to do faster menuing practice, you could set up a new file and practice that as much as you like.
Actually, Did it save?
It saves automatically, yeah. So you wouldn't be able to practice that more than
Oh
once.
yeah, you're right. But that's not it. So there is this guy. If you bring him some red skulls, it lets you buy some items. But actually, those items are in the hub. So if you have the good position, which is minus 244. Oops, that's not a good button.
A little bit.
Everything is fine, don't worry. And there.
Now he just got the Dread Talon for free. And this is particularly useful if you wanted to do New Game Plus, which uses all the weapons. Magic Madman could have, if you wanted to, put in a color code file and then set this all up, and he would be able to pick up all the weapons, and he would still have that that runner's flair, that personality touch. Oh, God, I love this room. The Will Skull room.
Yeah.
Which is normally impossible to get. Yo, nice job! Didn't take any damage. What a swag hero.
But he won't bring you back, actually. But that's not a big issue.
You can always just teleport.
That's not a good one. So yeah, I can just get all the items like that. I don't have the position of everything, so...
Yeah, we would. We do have a document that does have all the positions. I actually just need to go and dig it up. But essentially, you can use this to set up a New Game Plus file, and then what you would do whenever you wanted to do a New Game Plus run would be that you would have your completed file, and then you would just copy and paste that onto a blank file, and then you would start that every time. Every time you wanted to do a new run, you would just copy and paste that file.
So as you can see, I didn't beat planes, so there isn't my face at the place of the thing here, the queue. But yeah, you just have to beat every single stages afterwards, and you are good to go for a New Game Plus file.
Would you mind going to Tinker Knight stage to show off something over there? If you go to Tinker Knight, the boss, and you fight him the first time, but then you die to him, his position will be different. So teleporting to Tinker Knight, you'll see that he jumps back at the start, and you can see where he starts. Now, if Madman were to die, which do your best.
Oh, I died.
What do you know? S-Trainer lets you die immediately. It would bring him back to this fight, but you see Tinker didn't jump back this time. However, if you press, if you reload the stage and you press F2, then anytime you come and practice this fight, Tinker will jump back as if it's your first time fighting him.
And this is actually the same for Shovel Knight. Tinker also does this little jump backward.
And you could literally just press F2 from there and he would jump back every time.
Yes. So that's it for Spectre. I'm not good with him, so I can't really show good threats.
But you could be.
I could be, yeah. I plan to learn one day. But now I'm on King Knight.
So we'll just do a small interlude because what Madman's going to do now is he's going to upgrade his game back to the King Knight patch, and we're going to show off how you would be practicing as King Knight instead. King Knight does not have access to S-Trainer yet, as we mentioned before. However, we do have ways that we practice certain things.
Yeah.
Yep, so we'll just be taking a short couple-minute break here while Magic Madman gets that set up. So stay tuned.
Yep, see you soon.
Alright, welcome back everyone. We're getting into this final leg of tonight's Shovel Knight King Knight showcase here with Magic Madman.
Hey.
So, earlier we mentioned that S-Trainer does not work for the most recent patch of Shovel Knight. And it is unfortunate, but that is something that will be addressed soon enough. And if you want to practice the other 3 campaigns, you certainly can. We'll show you how. But the show must go on, and we still must practice this video game. So, Madman, want to talk about how we do that?
So the challenge mode allows you to fight against most of the bosses of the game. The only problem is for any percent you don't have your items, and for low percent maybe you have items you don't want to have for this fight. But there are some fights you can just do again. So
who are you showing us first?
Spectre Knight refight. The second one actually.
So this one works exactly like it would for low percent.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll get the face skip, which is actually extremely difficult. And nobody got it tonight so far.
Ah,
Oh, no way! Oh, so close!
I missed it by one hit, but I can do it again.
So yeah, Madman's using the lower platform to get stuck on it briefly, which allows him to use multiple bashes as Spectre Knight rises. So this is possible low percent, but it's extremely difficult.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah!
And then you can just chill here.
For forever. You could literally fail the challenge, couldn't you?
No, actually you don't fail the challenge. You can stay after the 0 time mark, and you still win.
That's funny.
So you can also do King Border. Even if you have an armor, you don't have to use it. So
In this case, he has the lightweight plate, which is the running armor, but that only works if you hold the button down. So he's doing the low percent version of the King Birder fight, showing off that King Birder is so tall, if you hit the bottom of his sprite. Nice! Getting him stuck on the ceiling there. Getting multiple bashes here. Good stuff.
no.
The 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice!
Got it.
Yeah, revenge. Take that,
Yeah.
Birder.
I can do the Enchantress as well. I just won't use the rat.
It was very... this will be somewhat similar to the way I did it, because...
Oh yeah, right.
Chasing her around, no fun. Nice. Getting the 1, 2, 3.
I don't like the position of those blocks. It's actually in the way. But you get the idea that you can train it. By the way, shootouts to
Jump
those
off.
flames. Now, if you dash it or roll on the fire, you don't get it.
Okay, I didn't know that. So yeah, for people who are playing on consoles, not on PC, who wouldn't have access to S-Trainer no matter what, you can still totally practice all of this stuff.
Yeah.
For the most part, you can practice quite a lot of it. And this is what we're doing again for any percent, even on PC, where we're having to set up our files so that we can practice this. Spleen himself, he actually has a file that is saved right before the Spectre fight, just so he can continuously practice Spectre 2. I also have to give shoutouts to Tolu, who did a lot of work on low percent for King Knight. He has retired from speedrunning. It is very difficult to do a lot of this stuff, so I don't blame him for taking a break from the game. It is important to make sure that you're having fun when you're playing these games.
Yeah. If you don't have fun, it's pointless to go for it. Choose the games that you like and you enjoy playing again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't want to bonk on him.
Oh, you still managed to stay alive there. Nice.
Yeah. That could have been better, but it's still good. It's still really good. I should have quit before I kill him.
No worries.
So yeah, those are the fights you can train for low percent. Because if I'm not mistaken, I can do Triple King.
Yes, he's wearing
Oh.
the armor that saves you whenever you fall in the water. So if you were to do this fight, you would end up getting saved by the rat, which does
Yeah.
interfere with how you would normally
And the
do this.
boat is not in the good position. He should be here, actually, at the start. Well, between those two positions. Because when you enter the room, you have to hit it once before Triple King to appear. So yeah, you can strain it.
That said, other characters, like Shovel Knight, can practice Propeller Knight just fine.
Yeah.
This is one of the more difficult quick kills for Shovel Knight, and you would be
Yeah.
able to practice this at least the start, exactly like you would for most of the kills for Shovel Knight.
Yeah, I missed it. Oh, you have the charge slash. I didn't know.
Yeah, you have the charge slash, which was a new discovery to me as well. Oh, also Black Knight is another fight that you can practice.
Oh, yeah. Since I didn't show it earlier.
So Black Knight is one of those fights that has a stun lock to him, but basically if you ever let him move for maybe 2 frames at most, he will hop away just like that. And so you can practice this exactly how you would do it in any percent. Unless if you are absolutely insane. There are some more ridiculous strats that have been found. But for the most part, this is how a lot of people are going to start practicing Black Knight.
I'm actually going in any percent for the crazy strat.
The gear and the coin? Yeah, that is insane. Or their gear and charge slash.
Yeah. It saves like 2 seconds, maybe?
Saves 2 seconds, could cost you 10 to 15.
Oh. Okay. I missed it,
Oh,
but
so close.
you have the main idea of this fight.
Do you have anything else you want to show off?
I don't think so.
I do have one thing I requested of you earlier.
Can you remind me?
It involves the lovely Decree and King Knight.
Oh yeah, sure.
And I would like to thank Richard once again and the GDQ staff for allowing us this opportunity to practice and show off the game, show off what has been new and happening with King Knight.
Oh, it's a new game plus. Yeah. It's not good.
You won't be able to do it?
I can do it. It's just that I chose a file on New Game Plus, and I don't think I'm there.
If you don't have a file for it, that's fine.
Oh, I have one.
Let's see.
Um,
So long as you can access the stage.
yeah.
Ah, perfect.
Oh, and we didn't talk about the low percent route actually.
Oh,
King
right.
Knight.
We did miss that. So while you do that, I'll explain really quickly.
Yeah.
In this game, King Knight has 3 separate completion criteria. Madman showed off some kills for low percent, but if you're wondering what low percent is like for this game, well, that card game that we mentioned earlier, you start the game with some cards in hand. You can actually lose on purpose and drop some of those cards from your hand to lower your percentage. So imagine, if you will, low percent runs of this game would start by going to the card house and losing on purpose as quickly as you could. We thought that was kind of silly, and since low percent is typically the kind of category where people are showing off a bare bones type of run, we instead separated low percent and true low percent into different categories. So the low percent that you would see normally in this campaign involves Shovel Knight not getting any health upgrades, any music sheets, or any of his weapons. But in this case, Magic Madman would be, if he were doing King low percent, the true low percent, he would be forced to go and lose the cards. But that's why we offer instead item and map completion only for low percent.
Yeah. Especially that when you are in the card game, you only lose one card when you lose the game, and the enemy only takes a card you have played. So you need to have the good cards in hand and play it for losing it. And if you play several cards, generally the enemy will take the weakest one, so not the one you want to lose. So you can literally lose 10 minutes to RNG here.
So yeah, again, pick the category that you want to run. If you truly believe in lowest percent, it is out there. But we also encourage runners to have fun when they play. If you would like a test of your skill, that is what we have the current low percent definition defined for.
This is the one I need.
You got it. So, as we finish up our explanation, and we are about to bid adieu, we do have one last thing to show off, which is quite a treat here.
Yeah.
Please, I hope you're all ready for a most joyous experience.
It's actually the first time. Oh, I had it. My bad. It's actually the first time I'm doing that. So, do I need to talk to him?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
So I hope you're all ready for a mystical trip to a realm not of this earth, an otherworldly plane of existence. Please shout out in chat who your favorite character is in Shovel Knight. If I see a lot of a particular name, we will be gracing them with quite the gift. We must choose. Choose quickly. Let us see which of these is the destined one. We have almost all the characters in this game are looking quite fancy and free. Oh, someone wants King Knight. How about you go ahead and just try King Knight real quick?
So I have it with me. How do I choose him?
You must clap him, attack, and you will try to grab him.
Okay.
Alright, what does Meeber say about the Fairy of Royalty? He doesn't see too kingly to me, though. So, anyone who wanted King Knight, sorry. I'm seeing Mona, Shield Knight, Plague Knight, lots of Mona.
Mona. Where is she?
It looks like Mona is the popular one. Let's see if we can find the Mona Knight.
There she is.
The Mona Fairy.
Oh, I missed her.
Oh, not this one. Oh, not this one. By the way, if you wanted to run a category that that gets to this cutscene as soon as possible, you could totally do that, and we'd be totally okay with it.
We should do it.
It's the Fairy of Research. How focused, and what kind of trouble does she get into? I believe chat has chosen wisely.
So, is this the one?
It appears to be the one.
Alright.
And with this, I thank you all for watching. We must now all hail the new Fairy King.
And again, I never found that on my first playthrough. And this is my first time here.
What? No!
Yeah.
I want to be the king! Long live the king. I hope everyone has appreciated this magical journey.
I do, at least. I do.
Thank you for helping show all this off, Madman.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Give any shoutouts, Madman?
Shoutouts to the Shovel community, because it's my first and only speed game for now. And shoutouts to Mumu for his good commentating.
Thank you.
And thanks again to GDQ for allowing us to show you all those things. And yeah, and shoutouts to myself, because today is my birthday actually.
Oh, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Good timing.
Yeah. Well, Actually, for me, because it's 3 a.m., but I don't know
Oh,
for
okay.
you.
I want to throw in additional shout-outs to you, Madman, because Madman has been a very nice and happy and very cheerful community member for us. And despite not having one of the best times, Madman has been providing lots of videos of anything that he's found, any new cool techniques, tactics, tricks. Even if Madman hasn't had the best time, he's been improving and he's been showing that he is a very capable player and he's an exemplary member of the community, in my opinion.
Yeah. Thank you. And thanks to the chat for all the happy birthday as well. So that's it for me.
All right. Thank you, Magic Madman, and thank you everyone tonight for running in this. So we had Spleen, Moo, and Madman here. And a couple quick announcements before we sign off for the night. Just a reminder that the first step is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. And with that, have a good night, everyone. Take care.
Yeah, have a good night.
Thank you.